Good morning, students. Yeah, so as I promised, today we have our guest speaker. As you all know, we've been discussing on herbal medicines here as a major component of the complementary and alternative medicine practice. And maybe, as you talked yesterday, Doc, whether we are supposed to call it alternative or not, I was really thinking on it in the evening, and I hope you'll also bring that point today. Dr. Mike Odotte.
Yeah.
He is a practitioner, seasoned for many years. Did I calculate like 20 plus years, yeah? 30
plus.
Yeah, so maybe some of you were not there when he started practicing herbal medicine, but the other day, you remember, we have some presentations on standardized herbal products, yeah? So not only at herbal medicine practice, but he has brought that practice to a standardized herbal product. He has a patent of a herbal product, which also today he will take us through. Patent, not only a patent, that the same product is also registered by the Pharmacy and Poisons Board. So this discussion will be very fundamental for whatever we have been discussing. And for some of you who will aspire to venture into the real research. And as you know, in this semester, my argument was we need really to shift the study, to shift the practice here. Instead of pure academic research, we can also translate that academic research to an innovation and commercialization. So in his talk also later on, you'll listen about that bit of her commercialization, okay? So that could also bring an opportunity for you as young ones. Instead of looking for job or for placement by the Ministry of Health, your focus in the future might be, to collaborate with farmers, yes, as we've been talking. You can collaborate with practitioners like Dr. Odotte and also others, so that you can be able to bring in a herbal product to the market. So he will take you through the process that he has gone for validation, for formulation, and all the like. And Doc, I'm so grateful that you have honored my invite and you have given the time. Thank you also for coming with Madam Victory. Yeah, thank you. These are our pharmacy students. They are in their fourth year. I know you are also a pharmacist, yeah? So your advice will really help quite a lot. And thank you, Karibu Sana. Students, can you appreciate Doc for getting time? Yeah, and also for coming up with the product. So feel free. Thank you.
Thank you. Once again, I would like to mention that I'm also a herbalist by calling. So that is the only difference, but my background is pharmacy and also now on ethnopharmacology. So in whose context do you carry out research? That is the big question. In whose context do you carry out research? You'll answer that later. And when we come to such an environment, we need to broaden and also think of being job creators, not job seekers. And that is the way to go with the Vision 2030. I would want us to start with, this is now advancing innovation in herbal practice for quality health care in Kenya, the case of Songo Prot, a herbal-based product. So how should we define that title? Look at it broadly. We need to advance the herbal medicine practice and make it look better than the way it is right now. And that is the main theme of our topic today. How the herbalists do sell their products in the open air. And what can you learn from that? And what is your perception? This is the way herbalists do sell their products in the open air market. Are you seeing it from that If you look at this information you are seeing there, what comes to your mind if you are a pharmacy student and you want to make things better? One, we should teach these people basic hygienic standards.
True, very true.
Because now they could be having good things, but also reinfecting others. So that is the prime objective which you should have, that such a person should be, if not taken back to school or a class, then there is a standard where he or she should be taught, and that is basic hygienic standards. In my own, and learn those herbalists, such I call them non-codified group. And then we also have the codified people group. The codified people are now people who can now understand, listen, and can also make them understand the language of medicine and can make it better or produce them in another form. Maybe in capsules, or capsulate them, make them tablets, or can isolate. And these are the people where you now are. But before that, what do you do to such a person who doesn't have that knowledge? That is our big question. Might be another thing, there is demand right now. According to WHO, 80% of the populace depend on herbal remedies. And there's only 20% now left for the conventional because they can afford the prices, they can buy them. There is a common herb. If you are in, is there any somebody from Lowland or Western? You can get it, it's very common, but it's very
We
bitter.
have some students over there. We have some students.
She could tell us that the low language of that herb. It's very common. But when you get stomach upset or stomach ache, you just swallow and chew it. The moment you chew it, the stomach stops paining. So there is one called, not Caressa idulis, there is this one called Abyssinica, Harrisonia abyssinica. So this is what I'm trying to say, that such herbs, we can also make them, we can identify them and make them into good use, and then look at the way to formulate and look at the properties and how we can make them better. And they could be old newspapers, you don't know where they come from, or something which has stayed for long. And then recycled wrappings, plastic pockets, and recycled glass bottles. So this could also contaminate the products when they are in that order. Very few traders label their products. So here, what do I say? This is still defining what we are now, the demand for us to have a broader picture of how to engage you people who are knowledgeable, to facilitate these people with knowledge and make them package their products in a better, in a more hygienic presentation, more hygienic way, so that they cannot get contaminations and contaminate others with other diseases. That is the big challenge these people are facing. So these are the challenges in the field. Now, we are going to talk about, in the case of Sunguprot, this is a product which has undergone through validation process. And I believe you know what validation is all about. It is about from the process, understanding how the communities use the same product in the locality. And that is what we are going to dwell on a bit. So, herbal remedies are available, are viable healthcare options for many Kenyans, particularly among the low-income people. Increasing innovation, innovations in herbal medicine subsector is critical in supporting the national healthcare delivery. Right now, we are looking at the Vision 2030. And we've been talking much about the Vision 2030. Do you have products to sell? Because you're still just getting everything from the developed world. Do you have something to sell for and in exchange? Which are the products which we have produced here in Kenya that we can sell? And the biodiversity we have here is huge, enormous. But as we just think of selling the same Panadol, the same quinine we used to sell to get from these people, why don't we have ours? There is a drug called, the drug used now for malaria. Who knows about it? The main drug now. There are two drugs which are herbal-based. Any person with the knowledge of the drug treating malaria, curing malaria right now, treating malaria. Huh? AL.
Yes.
It is from the plant called Artemisia annua. And we extract what? Artemisinin compound from Artemisia annua. So, look at that. It originated from China, but they found that the place where it grows better, or the best place here, it's in East Africa. So they get the seeds grown here in East Africa. The late Tom Chumley used to grow it in Rift Valley, this place called Nakuru, that plantation. And then they extract. We used to extract for them that component at Kiridi, Kenya Industrial Research. So then it is taken back to other place to develop it, and then it's brought here for us to consume. Look at that change. It's just the vice versa. You should also produce it and sell to them. So the quinine came from Tinchoma tree. We used to grow, it grows in the Rift Valley region. And that is the only life-saving drug, quinine, for malaria. It could be IV, IM, or IV, or in tablets form. So look at this biodiversity that we have. It's so huge that we can develop quite a lot. And according to WHO again, and according to the statistics of marketing, the Western countries, especially Europe, there is that market in herbal products generating $580 billion US dollars. Billion US dollars. How much trillions are those? And part of what you can look, some of these products which are sold to us, especially TNC products, GNLD products, they are herbal based. There is aloe vera, and aloe has several aloe products, aloe species, aloe secundiflora, aloe mosaica. But one person published an article on aloe vera. Aloe vera has how many products? 75 products. Aloe gel, aloe lip balm, for those who have got red lips, they apply. It's only for 2 weeks. You see that it has done its work. Aloe has got several aloe soap, aloe vera soap, that is, and several other, even the tablets. So those 75 products are just one single product. I want to give you an example. One single product, that is an immune booster I'm talking about. That is Sunguprot is an immune booster. How many people, Africa sub-Sahara region, have the challenge of compromised immune system? Immunity, immunocompromised persons. There are 800 million people in the East Africa sub-Sahara region. So let's take that we could produce this to help to supplement the treatment, and that one goes for 1,500, one packet. Somebody with challenged immune system would use for 24 packets. How much is that? See, you can make money out of that and become billionaires. So, come on. Yeah. So, there is huge demand. That is what I'm trying to say. But I don't know, our minds are just intact. We are not thinking outside the box. Now, as a result, the current paper discusses how innovation by herbal medicine practitioners can now improve on the health needs of many people using Sunguprot herbal remedy. As an example, Sunguprot protease inhibitor. It was patented. It has been patented. The formulation has been done and toxicity tested, and we have even done a lot of preclinical clinical studies on the same. So, collaborations. You don't need to go it alone. You need to have a collaborative approach to succeed in this development. We need to have these stakeholders brought together, main players in the field of herbal medicine, for us to succeed. And the research institutions are here. We are not making good use of them. I identified one called Kirdi. I was the first person to have taken an herbal drug for business incubation within Kirdi. So they said, kumbe Kirdi can do something better than just being dormant. Then people were flocking in Kirdi to buy the same products within Kirdi, Kenya Industrial Research and Development Institute. That D for development is what took me there. So that we could have collaboration within other research institutions, universities, and even research institutions like Cambridge, Institute of Primate Research, where we could test the efficacy of the same product. And that one you'll see as we go along. So the collaboration is a very important part of this venture. Now, baseline survey. We did baseline survey. You need to go to the communities because they are the owners, custodians of this indigenous knowledge. And they are the custodians of the plants. If they are not enlightened, they will destroy these plants without their knowledge. So we must link up with the communities and ask them what they are using those plants for, and also share your knowledge with them. And in the same, we'll plow back when we do patenting. There is part of patenting called benefit sharing. Benefit sharing with the communities. And that is captured when you are doing patent application. In case of any accrued benefit, you need to plow back to the community, either by building for them roads, because I've talked of billions of shillings. That product we are seeing there was supposed to be purchased, royalties were supposed to begin to me by Procter & Allen's, for example. It was valued at 3.5 billion as the royalties. That is also business, apart from me selling it. I pay off, you pay me off. I think you can be a good investor. You pay me off, I give you my royalties. So you are the owner of Sunguprot, you produce it. But look at that. But there was a mischief. Somebody went behind me, concluded with my lawyer, and it backfired. The director, I said, no, I don't give the full information on how to prepare it because the money has been taken somewhere. So validation is a very critical area. You need to know the properties in your product so that you defend it when somebody wants to use it. You also know so that you can advise for adverse reaction with other in combination with other products or drugs. Especially, for example, let me just touch it so that I will not repeat it. That Sunguprot is protease. It has got a lot of protein. So somebody who reacts to protein with the protein allergy should not take it. Then somebody with post-operation, because it can make you add weight, should not take it unless after 6 months. So those are the information you need to package when you're doing validation. Then patenting. Patenting, what does patenting helps us with? It helps us to be free to share the information. Now I'm sharing this information because I protected it. If you use that knowledge without my consent, you saw Prof gave me the first thing I do to have a consent. And that is what we do. In the first, to have consent that I'm giving you this information for educational purposes only. But if you want to produce an equivalent of Songoprod, you come to me and give me something small as an investor. Yeah, I'll discuss that. That's now personal. Now, patenting and then approvals. Approvals would mean that after you do all that validation, then you take this dossier to the Pharmacy and Poisons Board, or in future, I believe we'll have regulatory committee regulating the practice within Ministry of Health. That is what we are working on. So that body, the body with a lot of knowledge on herbal medicine will now approve your license so that they give you practicing license. That is what we are working on. And that we have several bills towards that. We are now harmonizing. I'll show you the work of that committee, which is now harmonizing. All those bills, there are several bills. The first bill was done by Dr. Umama Kadudi and Professor Naman in 1968. And then we have also the Witchcraft Act. What does it say? 1925. It says that when the conventional medicine was being introduced in the black continent, they call it black, I don't know why it is. It's still black or it has changed. But when they were introducing conventional medicine in 1925, there was an act which is called Witchcraft Act. What was it defining? It was that Witchcraft Act was subjecting all the herbal remedies and their treatments and their herbals to be evil. So then if you are found using herbal medicine, there is a huge fine you are given. And it still stands. It's only now that we are trying to revoke it by introducing these bills. So it still stands, but because we chased the Wazungus, we are still now, it is loose somehow. But look at that. But that is the origin of their, about 65% Prof originates from the herbs.
True.
Yeah. So look at that information.
I have not heard about this Witchcraft Act. It's the first time.
Oh, sure. Yeah, it's there. I'll even share it with you. I'll have it in my soft copies.
Okay.
And then exhibitions. You need to have exhibition and market so that you can also market your products. I've had several exhibitions I'll share with you as we go along, just to show. So in the case of Songopros, Kenya Medical Research Institute, these are the collaborating institutions. Kenyatta University, University of Nairobi, University of Kennedy, North Carolina, USA, South Carolina, and my company now, which is generated out of this, is called Sharek Enterprises. Sharek used to be Sungu African Herbal Research Center because I had to look for herbalists and become a herbalist, share with them the knowledge. I registered this Sungu African Herbal Research Center within the community. So in this place, the communities were coming to share the knowledge, and we share there and could also advise them. They advise me as well. They have the knowledge. Don't think they are not. So these are my research team. Professor Job Jondiko was my principal investigating officer. Though he's the late, He used to be the chairman department of chemistry at Maseno University. Professor Jenny Forwa once taught here. In fact, we were supposed to be with her. The prof said hi. She wanted to just come and join me in this
today?
meeting. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So Professor Jenny Forwa was a principal investigating on ethical review team at Cambridge, safety and efficacy, pharmacological aspect. And Professor Jondiko was in charge at Maseno University, was in charge of phytochemical analysis, the active components in this product. They were targeting the least known product which is in the wild called Tylosema phasoglensis. The lawyers call it imbasa, Luos call it ombasa. It is a vine that twines, and in Ethiopia, it is there, and it's called Tylosema esculentum. In southern South Africa, Tylosema buham. And in South Africa, the Bushmen use it, and they used to make porridge out of it. And that could be why they were very proud at the beginning when, during the time HIV cropped in, they said they have their products that they use. But we narrowed into Tylosema phasoglensis, which is commonly found in East Africa. So, Professor Matthews Deda is the chairman, up to now, Maseno University Chairman, Department of Agriculture. Dr. Ruth Wasona, Kemri Kisian, Kisumu, Philip Ngujiri, though late, she is the person who did a nutritional analysis in the same product. The same with Mr. Elisa, now is a Dr. Elisha. Dr. Dano Juang was responsible with baseline survey. We were funded partially by Kirdi to go to the communities and share the knowledge and inquire and discuss and engage them. I was overall in charge of the product as an innovator. Professor Chandamboya also was in charge of clinical trials. The same to Professor John Nyacham of North Carolina. Those are people who are in charge of the rest, up to Dr. These were people in charge of clinical trials, pilot study of the same product. So I'm talking about the collaboration aspect. I believe you can now get the idea why we have to collaborate, and we collaborate with the communities like that so that we get what we need. There is no local statement of the project. Now the project problems of the statement of the project problem. There is no locally developed nutrient-rich food supplement for immunodeficient. Now, during the event of HIV, when it was coming, the first times, or the early times of the HIV, people didn't have any supplement we could rely on to boost the immune system. So that is what we thought of, that why don't we think of having something, and we made that. There are many people suffering from 100 to 150 disease-causing immune deficiency. That are, we call them opportunistic infections. And Sunguprot is still sold even up to now. Now we have known, but it used to be sold without information which could support it, so insufficient data. But today we have some data to help us. And there is no information in the market and acceptance of product for clients and buyers of Sunguprot. So they needed information which we have generated. There are no scientific data which we have generated. Tylosema phasoglensis is found in the wild, and we wanted to domesticate it, and we have done that at Maseno University, and the women group and the youth group, they help us to domesticate it. there is no agronomical cultivation technologies. That is still a problem, because when we planted these ones at Maseno University, they didn't have seeds. The ones which grew did not produce seeds. So we are still asking, how what method shall we use to make it have seeds when it is grown? So that is Telosema phasoglanensis in the wild. And the tuber is huger than you people here because it weighs up to 200 kilograms. None of us is over 200 or 200. So we subjected the critical analysis on the tuber, leaves, bark, and the seeds. People suffering from the discording immunodeficiency require appropriate food supplements, and treatment regimes are expensive. So when you look at the people back at home, most of us, some of them even go hungry without food. So when you tell that person to go and purchase a drug costing even 20 even 2,000, then it becomes a big problem. And during those times, the first ARVs was sold around, it was in 1984, and it costed even 50,000, one dose for 1 month. Then much later, that was in Uganda. Then when it arrived here in Kenya, it was sold 25,000 Kenya shillings. Who could have managed to buy that? So there was a discussion, and the government supplemented the cost of it. Now we are getting almost free, not free. So look at that. Do you have in your mind that if Trump says no to ARVs and no to the support, where do you have any alternative? No. So think of such, those are the things that makes us come to school. You come to school to solve a problem, not come to school and warm your desk. And when you get home, you think you've got your degree, you work with it proudly. Have the degree, but think of solving a problem back at home or within the vicinity. So treatment regimes are expensive. That is what I'm saying. There is dire need to develop technologies for the value addition to local foodstuffs. Not only Sunguprot, but we could do value addition to make them better and sell. Even packaging of this traditional vegetable. Why don't you think of packaging and sell it? They are not in America or the USA or any other place. Package it so that the shelf life becomes manageable. And then you just write, what's your name, my friend? Haron. So Haron vegetable, which are well done, and you sell it by flight to the developed world. They'll sell. They'll buy it because they don't have them there. Mrenda, mchicha, what are they called? Those one, African shade. So think of that. Think in that line. But you have the people who can look at the shelf life of such things, so that you know how they are treated. Creation of employment. See, if I have this, can employ how many people? See, it will create job. True. Cultivation through, conservation of medicinal plant through research and development. This is another critical area. We need to conserve the medicinal plants because we risk them or losing them through, one, climate change. Now, many are now going into extinct due to climate change. Two, overpopulation and the usage of land. Three, and I can go on, and there are so many. So we must think of, if you have a product, like another product called Carissa edulis. Who knows about Carissa edulis? Who have heard of Carissa edulis? It's a plant, somebody called Babu Loliondo. Loliondo in is a herbalist in Tanzania. Not that he conned people. He had good, he meant good, but what he could not manage the demand. And again, that product had just little, it is effective, okay. The plant is a good plant, it's a good plant, but we did also some research on the same at Kemri. I, together with Professor Roa and Professor Jondiko, we did a very good information documented, but it's just kept in the locus at Kemri. Nobody has used it until Professor, that Loliondo man came, and it excited us and went to Loliondo. We identified that it is the same plant he was using. We did a lot here and it's still decaying there, which should have produced products, and we could have made it better and sell it and package it and sell it in a more organized way. So what happens with us Africans or Kenyans? Why don't we become rich out of the same things? Development of R&D to support Kenya National, okay, this one is Millennium 2030. We have a vision, which I discussed before, that these products we are doing, this department is very traditional medicine. It's holistic and very potential. If we manage it well, it should help us have products in the vision, towards the Vision 2030 as a flagship project. And that is now nurtured at National Museums of Kenya through a project called NPI. NPI. That is Natural Products Industry Initiative, headed by Dr. Taracha as the product coordinator, project coordinator. So that is still cutting across. So we are trying to bring all these people to help us conservation aspect. That is the work of Kenrick, NPI, and which are all projects based at National Museums of Kenya. And they are the custodians of this knowledge documentation of the same products. So project objectives are to develop propagation methods for Thalassemia, for seeds and tuber for Thalassemia phasoglensis, and then we transfer the technology to the community so that they have the knowledge of that product, or we risk it going to extinct because they don't understand why they should protect it. And then establish phytochemical, pharmacological, biochemical, and analytical procedures for the quality, efficacy, and safety standards control for the raw materials and the product. Formulate 2 prototypes designs. And then the good manufacturing practice. The standards must be now observed. You just don't wake up, take it to Giskomba, and the same Giskomba market, somebody had ground some products which could also affect the chemistry of the same product. So you see, good manufacturing practice starts at the grassroots level so that it becomes standard what you are using. And evaluate safety of the product and clinical performance of improved Suguprot. So the safety we did, I'll share with you on these slides here. Output, the number 2, project management activities. We planned 2 meetings in Kisumu and in Nairobi, sharing with the intellectuals like you guys and the communities within Nairobi and Kisumu, and share the information on the perception of these products like now we are discussing. 3 community meetings we organize with the communities, both in Migori, Homa Bay, and Siaya, where we found that this product, the Thalassemia phasoglensis, grows better. Several consultations and visits, we did several consultations and visits within the communities, sending several emails, telephones. We planned several project meetings in Kisumu because we are now narrowing into where the plant grows better. So this is Tylosema in the wild. Now we are doing domestication with the women group in Homa Bay County, intercropping, because it takes long to mature. So we intercropped with the maize, other plants, so that when it matures, it takes like 2 years to mature. And that with the herbal products, one thing you must know, that when it matures is when it becomes effective. And then another thing you must know, that they synergize each other to work. Mostly they don't work in isolation. So they synergize. You look at another component which is closely related to what you have, they will work better. For example, there's a product here which you always know, it's called hibiscus. Hibiscus is antioxidant, has got a lycopene and selenium. Hibiscus, if it is just hibiscus alone, then it is a superfood. Are we together?
Yeah.
But if the moment you add some other ingredients in it, it obviously change the chemistry in it. So this is now hibiscus plus, because I've added something into it to improve on its activity. But it also helps facilitates the first movement of blood to all parts of the organs. So somebody with thrombosis, blood clot, this is now a good drug for such a person. And then because of the high antioxidant in it, lycopene and selenium, it will purify the blood. And you know our blood has a lot of contaminants. The bad cholesterol. So such a thing, you can make it. I sell it like this. I don't want to make it in tablet form. I just want people to take it the way it is. And it does the work well. So it becomes a very good antioxidant. People suffering even HIV, they take a lot of ARVs have preservatives in them. And you see some people presenting with what we call lipodystrophy, unequal distribution of fat in the body. So how do you make such a correction? So those are the people we need to detoxify the system and give some immune boosters that can solve. I've given them Sunguprot and I've seen them, the body comes back to normal. Because when somebody takes, many people who take some ARVs, you can find them, when they have lipodystrophy, you find that the fats are not there in some parts of the body. They look strange. And the body becomes very dark. Have you observed that? With somebody taking ARVs who reacts in that way, form. So such are the things we look broadly on. We supplement the intake of ARVs. Some people react on ARVs. The first time I started producing this product at Kenyatta University, we had established a department called Preclinical Health Sciences at Kenyatta University, which later translated into School of Health Sciences. And we are the pioneers of the School of Health Sciences at Kenyatta University. Our intention with Professor Lois Orago, you know him?
No, I don't know.
Okay. Was to have a center of excellence for producing, validating natural products. But when Professor Mugenda came in, he changed that and said, no, this would be just a school of health, then this will be a small component within pharmacy department. So that is what happened. So in Homa Bay, we identified this, we did soil analysis, which made us narrowed into these counties, but then they were called districts. We went all around taking samples all over the country, in Uganda, Tanzania, Ethiopia, name it. We collected soil samples to find where Tylosema phasoglensis grows better. And then we narrowed into this place. We were informed by the soil analysis. That is where the soil, you know what determines the efficacy of herbs? It's the selenium content in the soil and other parameters. Now, this is community. So we were sensitizing, we had a seminar to sensitize the community. This one was done in Homa Bay. And we had a good kind of discussion. The youths were there, the old ladies and the old great-grandfathers were there, sharing the knowledge, and then we were sensitizing them. This now, Taloseba fasciolensis, that was experimental farm at Maseno University. So this is, that's me now handling it there. I wanted it to be stable. So this is a table of soil analysis for samples which were taken in different locations. And then Siaya, Maseno, now we narrowed into the four counties. Now they are counties. Before, they were districts. And I will not go into details because of time. You'll see them later. Then safety evaluation of the extract at 5,000 per kilogram body weight from Thalesema falciparum using the mice through oral administration. This marked as the formulation, led us into having a formulation because now we were looking at the dosage. And this one was pharmacological aspect, which was done, safety and efficacy, which was done at Kemri. So we could feed the mice, observe them within a period of 14 days. And when the piloerection, you know piloerection, when the fur of the mice erects, then that shows you that the substance the mice used is effective. And it is observed over a period of time, not only once. And then at the end of the experiment, you find that none of the animals died within the 14 days because that is what they are subjected to feed on. And the mice which are, I believe you understand that kind of process.
Yes, yes.
And then the protocol was developed from that procedure. And this was what Professor Jennifer Roy was understanding at Kemri, the procedure of the ethical review of that procedure. So that was done pharmacological aspect at Kemri. And then bacterial and fungal growth inhibition by agar gel dilution method in millimeter at 1,000 milligram per mil. So what we get from this thing here, the plant leaves and tuber, solvents, Staphylococcus aureus and E. coli, Candida album. So now this one tells us that this product can also be used for amoebasis. Even amoebasis dysentery, it has been used. And now it's supported by this information. And more so on the leaves and also in the tuber. And the tuber has made this product now. You are seeing this is a very gentle drink. Prof, I'll give you this one, you can taste. It's gentle. It is antioxidant, and it is also, it attaches itself to the free radicals in the body. And those are bad cholesterols and all the rest. So we made it, this one, this informed us to make that product you are seeing there. And the husk of that seed. The husk of the seed we tested. We found a very good beverage. That's just for organoleptic taste trial. It was a very nice beverage, but also medicinal. The cotyledon, and we also pressed the seed and got the oil out of it. minimum growth inhibition concentration of the extract in milligrams per mil against the test bacterial fungus. So that also just support that information on the fungus. And then Staphylococcus aureus was most sensitive bacteria affected by all the solvent extracts from all parts of the plant, whereas E. coli was affected by ethyl acetate extract of the cotyledon and the leaves only. Candida album was sensitive to ethyl acetate extract of the leaves, as well as the ethanol extract of the tuber. In conclusion, polar, medium, polar, and non-polar compounds of the plant are microbial ethnobotanical use, and that is in Sunguprot and the porridge rich. So, the analysis of anti-nutrients components in this dry matter found in the leaves, tuber, and this one was also from the Homa Bay County, by them it was Homa District. So look at this table of context. This information you are getting, this can now lead you to having a product.
Very true.
So if you study keenly, you will come up with a product after looking at from the seed. And when you look at the concentration of each parameters, you find something strange with the seed. So the seed could be more effective in some other areas. Then let us, here there is analysis of anti-nutrients in milligram per 100 grams dry matter found in leaves, tuber, raw material seeds, and Thalassemia phosphorus found in Homa Bay District. There's a very interesting part of this, which led us into making, this is trypsin, this is an enzyme. So this trypsin, the leaves had 8.05 and the tuber had 10.30 equivalent. And then from the seed, we had 19.8, which was much, and that one led us into developing this product now. So these are byproducts of Sunguprot. This byproduct, we name it immune modulator. It modulates the immune system. The enzymes which are here, part of it is trypsin. And then there are other two compound elements which we got from somewhere. Enzyme called tetracannabiol and polyne polyhydrate. So the tetracannabiol comes from which plant? Who has the information? Yes?
Cannabis.
Cannabis sativa. So what Professor Fajakoya used to say, musivute fute hiyo bangi, lakini you can extract something from it to make a drug. So this one can arrest cancer cell in the host cell. But we intended to arrest the virus of HIV in the host cell. That was our intention. But now we are subjecting it. You just drop sublingually. It does sublingual remedy. Sublingual, I believe you know, under the tongue. So when cancer cell raid your body, they look for bacteria to feed on along the glands. And that is why it has to be along that cavity. They'll feed on this, take it to the cells, and apprehend them. That is our theory now. Then, so here, the concentration of condensed tannins, that is all gram per kilogram in tuber leaves and seed elements, dry matter. So this one also look at the ion in that product. Ion, magnesium, phosphorus, you see sodium and all that, calcium. So we can come up with a product. And I'm telling you, in publication you can come up with several products. It's not only one. You have to sit down, think on what you can make on this A plus C, B is equal to what? Then you keep on thinking. Then the output 7 was percentage composition of sterols, tocopherols, dry leaves or tubers of the seeds of the Tyloxema phasoglensis in Homa Bay. This again, you look at the tocopherols and tocopherols, sterols, and these are components which can also lead you into coming up with a drug. Then amino acid components in these products, as you can see them, the lysine is another important. The lysine as antioxidant, that is amino acid composition in grams per dry matter in Tyloxema phasoglensis. And that lysine you are seeing there, highlighted in red, that one now tells you that the antioxidant component is very critical in this, and you can also have antioxidant in form of tablets. We have a selenium with vitamin E, which is sold by another company, and a small packet like this is sold at 2,800, a small packet of 30 tablets. Why don't you think of developing yours from natural source and also sell almost an equivalent? People say that Odotte purchase, this one, if it can arrest the cancer cell in the host cell, how much should I charge it? Because you'll think of the marketing again, because if you charge your product too low, and you have spent a lot of research work on it, then you lose again, and people will not have confidence in you again. If I sell it again, that product at 20 shillings, what would people say? That this is a joke? How can it arrest cancer cell and you sell it 20 shillings? Yeah, so you look into that. Not that you want to be so generous that you want to help your people. They'll also think twice, say, no, you are joking. And then you'll not sell a lot. So here is the physiochemical characteristics of the lipophilic extract from the leaves, tuber, seeds of Tyloxema phasoglensis. Here there are a lot of information you can generate from this data. Even it has iodine. Now look at the fatty acids composition in the seeds collected from Homa Bay. We also have now vitamins. It has got vitamin concentration. And if you look at that, which are just optimum, then the clinical validation research was done. These are people who came all the way from America. Here, Professor John Mecham, Professor Fernandez, Professor Odotte Michael, used to be the head department of preclinical health school at Kenyatta University. So these now people who are behind the clinical pilot study. Then we have the destitute group at the racial development in Gatundu, where we are doing the research on people who volunteered. And they were taking the products against, some of them were taking the ARVs. So we are observing those, and these are the people who generated this data you are seeing, this information here. This information and what we did with them was funded by the Fulbright Scholars Program and the NE Foundation. And you can see within only 2 months, it elevated the CD4 count and lowered the viral load. And that was within that study. So this one, we are using the utilization of modified Dinol T-quant method. And this one was the only product which was we were using to treat HIV in the local. And I can remember another pharmacist, but then he was still in college, but he acquired the virus and didn't have any option because he was reacting to the ARVs. She's a lady. She survived on this to date. When I was presenting in Mombasa White Sands Hotel, she raised up and I could not remember her. But she said, this is what rescued me out of the menace, HIV, during those times. And she depended on it. From Kenyatta University, where I was producing it in small scale. Now, according to the study of this, it was like a larger, Sunguprot may have ARV's therapeutic effect. By then, this was 2007. So we were subjecting to critical analysis, but we lacked fund because now we were going to look for large-scale studies where it was going to involve like 200 million, and we didn't have that much. We were funded also by NACOSTI. Who knows about NACOSTI? The funding. The national NACOSTI is used to be under Ministry of Higher Education. Now it's education in general. But that is the funding agency. So we were funded and they were looking at, then after these results were generated, we subjected that information to defending these results with the funds we got from NACOSTI. So I was given this to justify that the funds were used well and the product has been generated. And now they were funding us with small money to produce Songoprot and plow back to the institute for other people who are young research scientists who are coming up with the innovations. Like now you people should also think of coming up with the innovation that can also be supported by NACOSTI. I think they are still funding.
Yeah, they are.
So NACOSTI, in all their exhibition, said you are also exhibiting me as their project. I myself, as a person who has produced a product from the resource they were giving us and the connection I got from Kirdi on business incubation and to link me up with other research institutions and my products. And I also became a case study when I did patenting. I patented the product. You'll see the patent. Now I also went to, I also usually go to exhibition, and one ugly day I got was to sit down the president of Kenya one time, because his President Kibaki is a more knowledgeable person. He requested for a chair so that he could sit and listen to the information I was giving him on Songoprot. And then I was almost charged that I had to sit a president to listen to me, and I had a very busy schedule. So they took me to a panel at Kirdi, which was chaired by the chairman of the board. It was a whole day. They wanted to judge me, and that meeting took only 5 minutes when I told them, who am I to tell a whole president? You have listened to this, go, other people are going to see this information. And that is what ended, because I could not tell the old man to go. Yes, but he also benefited from these products. So that is subsigned. Now, this is where Abdul Razak now is what? Is the PS, I think, Professor Abdul Razak. He used to be the chairman, the director of NACOSTI by then. And now is I think it's the CS somewhere. This is Professor Cyrus Kiamba, used to be the PS, Ministry of Higher Education. Those are my funding agencies and the trade fairs. Now look at me exhibiting in Mombasa show with the products and byproducts. These are byproducts of Songoprot. I've been awarded as a best technological innovation. And this one was Professor Kalemi Mwirwa, Dr. Kalemi Mwirwa, used to be it's deputy assistant minister by then. Now I'm talking of that certification. This is a certificate I was awarded of patent. This is a patent certificate. So when you do patenting, it protects you, and never despise that protection, because at one point, this wazungus I showed you there, they went and published this information without my name. You see, the authors are now John Mecham, professor, Michael Otieno, the gentleman I showed you. Then they didn't put my name and published this. If you Google First Interest Workshop in Uganda 207, that is where this work was published. So once a publication has been out, then without your name, then you are not part of the process. So I wrote a letter to the international jury through Kenya Institute Patenting Office, KIPI, Kenya Institute of Property Office. So the KIPI wrote a letter to, which is based in Geneva. This product, the information I generated, was analyzed through WIPO, World Intellectual Property Rights Office in Geneva. So when Geneva received this, they did a letter to Professor John Mecham, to his university, North Carolina. They wanted to revoke his practicing license for having breached this information. So that is what protection is all about. So I'm telling you, you need to protect, go to patent examiners and protect your information. So the same product, KEMRI certified it as safe and effective with the analysis we got. These are huge documents I have. This is just synthesizing and having some small fractions of it. And then Pharmacy and Poisons Board, they get the dossier of this information. The dossier is packed in six files, duplicated in the same order and in the order in which they are, and then subjected to ethical review team composed by the Ministry of Health. So far, it is through the Ministry of Health, because we are treating human beings, to give you the license to practice as at now. And they list it as, do an enlisting of that. It's not, they don't recognize so much as a drug, but as a supplement. So, finally, I wanted to touch a small fraction of it on a brief insight of policy development in Kenya. A lot has been done on policy development, because all this you are doing, if they are not, you don't have policies to address how you are taking drugs, the whole process I've been talking about, then that you will not have a place to sell it, because you will be thinking of putting it in the pharmacies, and might be they didn't give you full knowledge of a drug. And then also, but this one, you see, they gave me that license, so it should be in the chemist shops and all health facilities. What is it lacking? Marketing strategy. I believe there is nobody doing marketing. I wish they could be here. They could have taken up that.
Yeah.
And we are going to discuss with you about the same. So we have established a committee of experts on traditional medicine awaiting government gazettement. I invited one of us, is called Professor Muniafu. We worked with him for some time. And I thought that day he would be there and be part of the team. But he didn't show up. But we still have time, we'll discuss. There's still chance. We need one more to represent the technical committee. And then this professor, I'll be talking about my PI, an ethical review team, Professor Jani Forwa. from university. No, okay, she's still part of the Kemri, partially. But this is still at Kemri, Dr. Esther Matu and Dr. Chwangi. Chwangi is head of department at chemist learning. This lady here is the department.
Amugone.
Yeah, at University of Nairobi,
Yes.
veterinary department. All these are players, stakeholders. This gentleman you are seeing, this is the pioneer of the School of Health Sciences at Kenyatta University. Now, we are looking at broadly, and this lady here, you're seeing, no, this one behind, that is the regulatory officer, Ministry of Health. And she's the one who has invited us on that meeting. Okay. And to discuss on herbal medicine policy there. Okay. There's a forum coming up. So Natural Products Industry Initiative, which I was talking about, has the team going to counties. So they have identified some products at the community level, and they want to scale up the production and to link them with the validation process. So all that I've done is now what they are standing in for, to help communities come up with products and meet the markets. And that is the end of my presentation. Any question? Another thing I want to tell you, there is a story of a day somebody went to look for a rare plant. And this person was told that the plant is there, you give us money first, and you go and pluck it. But you must obey the rules of that plucking of that plant. So the rule was like, you go at night, you get blindfolded, you move with your back, and you are told the direction of the plant, move with your back, go to the right, go to the left, direct, and you are naked. And you pluck it, and you don't look at it, then you go up to where the person is and tells you, now place it here. Now that is the product. What is the significance of that? Anybody with the knowledge of what is the significance of that practice? Yes? Correct. That is the acquired knowledge of conservation of the rare plant for it not to go into extinct. So you people are now here. When such a plant which is very rare like that, how do you help? Think of now helping these people to do conservation. You multiply it, propagate it, and plant it, give it to people, and then you protect it. Then you look at protection mechanism, apart from just that. Also, there is a belief in it. That if you go like that, already you go like, this thing is so, you got it so in a way that you think it's going to do miracles. So that is attachment of that kind of some belief in it. So some of these are spiritually done and we're also protected. I don't know much about spirituality, but it exists in this thing. You could also explore and get to know about that spirituality in it and related to such plants and the myths. But those ones you can leave for those who are doing cultural norms. And that is why we separate between culture and now our study of understanding the components and what they have after doing the validation. Now, anybody with a question?
You're not supposed to necessarily say that it treats a certain disease when you're marketing it because of the long procedure time. So my question is, when you are advertising these drugs, do you explicitly say that it's used in the treatment of HIV and AIDS? And have you been allowed to say that medically or under the board that has approved your product?
Yeah. So far, let me begin with the approvals. Once it has been approved by the Ministry of Health, it allows you, and within this certificate they are giving you, there is something which I also just want you to read loud. Can you read loud for them here? Yeah, be warned.
Okay. Be warned that any marketing in the form of advertisement and promotions to the public must be approved by the Pharmacy and Poisons Board. Failure to adhere to this directive may lead to the suspension of the permission to sell the products.
Thank you. Are you answered? You must go and tell them that you want to advertise or have a meeting and discuss. But they are not telling you that you don't need to go to the people and tell that story. So once it has been registered, they know that dossier which you submitted. That one justifies that their product is safe and effective. It not kill somebody. So far it has been used since, approval took place in 2014. But I started this work in the year 1989. That 1989, I started by having a community-based center registered under Ministry of Culture and Social Services. But during those times, people didn't have a good perception on herbal medicine, and we could not talk freely on herbal medicine in such a class because that act is still there. It has not been removed. The Act of Witchcraft Act during the introduction of conventional medicine. But at the back of your mind, don't you think before the introduction of herbal medicine, in conventional medicine, we were using the herbs to treat ourselves?
Sure, very true.
Eh? So why don't you think outside the box and think of what you can do to make yours better and also sell it outside Africa? Then, this is an information of a clinical pilot study at Kenyatta University. And it talks, can you read this aloud again?
To whom it may concern, Sungu Sprott, baseline clinical data. This is to state that the herbal medication, Sungu Sprott, from Mr. Michael Odotte, was given to us for clinical trial in Gatundu North on HIV and AIDS patients. The clinical trials indicate that there was a significant elevation on CD4 counts and weight increase within 2 months. There was no significant toxicity as the liver enzymes profile was not elevated.
That is the notation which I wanted you to understand. When the liver is not elevated, then it's safe, non-toxic. So then we forged collaborative agreement. This is, when you are doing such, you must have a collaborative MOU, memorandum of understanding with the research institutions. But the only problem is that they never signed this MOU. So I owned that information because they slept on the job. They were not sure that this thing at the end of the day will bring something that is marketable, and they were not seeing money in it, the institution. But now that is also a weakness which you need to learn. So that I was supposed to, if I sell to you Sungu product, like now you might be having somebody with challenged immune system. You can purchase, it's there for commercial. So you purchase that from them. But you need to have such a collaborative agreement signed. This was my research team. We did a dossier. This dossier has this, all what you are seeing there is supported here. This is the whole information captured here. But then again, it was nominated as the best innovation in Africa. And I was awarded at Safari White Sands Hotel in Mombasa during African Ministerial Conference. This is Africa. All the ministers for research institutions, they come together under AMCOST. And then that is what I can say about, and again, the same product there treated somebody who had acquired COVID. You know, COVID ravages the immune system. So what I did, and this person went public, and it's none other than the former Prime Minister, Raila Amolo Odinga. When he got treated out of this product, Sunguprot, Canoma, and that hibiscus plus. And then there was one which I got, which you drop in the hot water, you inhale, and clears the bronchioles. So that was a clear testimony. Another person who has gone public is Beth Mugo, who has been using some of these products to treat the breast cancer. She's gone public. If you Google Beth Mugo, you'll see some of it. Yes?
Thank you so much, Doctor, for your presentation. I am actually very, very interested because I'm having a startup in Uganda that is also doing the same thing. I got that inspiration from Healthy You.
Yeah.
So I was so attentive because this is my field and I'm so interested.
Yes.
And I have a few questions to put across.
Yes.
I am Ugandan, so I am looking at doing, if I do patenting in Kenya,
Yes.
does that patenting stand all over the world, or whichever country I have to go, I have to do the patenting? That is question number one. Another one is, if I have a product that I have produced, but I'm in the process of patenting, like maybe I've produced, not Sunguprot, but I have an innovation, can I sell it even before, as patenting is taking place? Can I start making the money, or should I wait?
Yes.
That takes me to, how long does patenting take? Then another thing, as I said, a startup. So I am looking at, okay, you guys have gone ahead of us. Can I get like mentorship or internship opportunity just to see how you are doing things? And also in the process of validation, I understand that you showed us like a whole big team that helps you with the validation.
Yeah.
I don't know how you go about that for a startup that wants to do maybe validation and they want to involve you. Yeah, thank you so much for your presentation. I really appreciate it.
Okay. Number one, let me start with the patenting. We have what we call regional patent. That is within ARIPO, African Region Patent. That patent allows you to use your product, to protect your product within African region, and it's called ARIPO. You can apply it anywhere. And the patent, you can do it anywhere, whichever country. Many people come to Kenya to do the patent in Africa because the Africans do not have things to patent. If you go to Pharmacy and Poisons Board, ask them Kenyan product there, they have accepted to be used. You might find even it could be only Sunguprot. Because many people do not understand the importance of patenting, and then in the process, those who are knowledgeable from Western countries, they come and poach this information. Even from Cambridge, they poach this information. And I started by asking you, in whose context do you carry out research? Now that answers you people. You do research, and it is left hanging. People take that information which you have worked for, and they produce products and bring them back to you. So you should do research and finally have products. I once challenged a professor who has worked for more than 40 years here in Kenya at Kenyatta University of Nairobi. He's now an elderly person. He's called Professor Midiwo. Professor Midiwo had several publications, 43 publications by then. And I've told you one publication, now this product published can produce how many products? Several, about 75 products. Each product alone, like now I'm talking on this product, I sell it 1,500. Averagely in the market, immune boosters are ranged between 1,000 to 2,000 there, 500 there. But now, I give people as a dosage of 1 packet in a week, taken in a week, and somebody who just want to improve on the immune system and not HIV positive, and immunity can collapse due to poor feeding, old age, or malnourished due to sickling. That one allows you to use about 12 packets of Songoprot, and it shall improve on your immune system. But somebody who is HIV positive, somebody who has cancer, who is emaciated so much, will use 24 packets. 24 packets translated to how much? 1,500 times 24. Times 800 million people suffering malnutrition in Africa sub-Saharan region. So you are a billionaire now. So I'm also saying, okay, people challenge me because one thing, I like making several drugs and teaching this because I see many people want to go together. I didn't want to go it alone. But now I might discuss with somebody like you, people who are interested in marketing, and that is why I talked of marketing. I also lack marketing strategy. I lack marketing strategy. Let me talk of strategy and to blow this out of proportion so that you can use it. But we are discussing with Prof. There is the first meeting coming up on in investment on indigenous knowledge. I think it will be 21st to 23rd. The first meeting for investors are coming here in Kenya. And it is not in Kenya, East Africa. It's an East African event happening here in Kenya. So people have come all the way. I believe some have come to poach, but some will come to invest on such a thing. I didn't also want to go it alone, because when you're alone, a lone ranger, then people can box you left and right. I've been thinking of having a discussion with an institution like this, where if the institution has a department which we call holding company, that will also sustain the institution. And those billions can be channeled to the institution, then we share the cost. We can have an MOU and do such a thing. And then focus these investors, if they're serious, they invest on Songoprot. Then USIU become the custodians of Songoprot, as I lease the intellectual property right. I believe you are getting something. You lease the intellectual property. Or you can sell your intellectual property, like I wanted to sell it to Procter & Gamble. But you sell it at then you need a lawyer to value your product from point A to Z. And then they do give you the valuation of your product. So you can patent in Kenya and protect it in other places endangered for your pirated, where you think people can pirate. You can patent that is international patent now. There is a repo patent, there's international patent, there's petty patent, utility model. Utility model allows you to use it over a period of time, but you can always reapply, like 12 years. Like mine, it was utility because I really I feared conspiracy and piracy. So I gave it out, but I wanted to apply on international patent, but again, that one was subject because I didn't have enough money. You know, international patent, you have to use a lot of money. To patent it in America, China, Britain, you patent and you put that huge money there. Might be you have not gotten money from the sales, and then that money is stuck there. So you can start small with what we call petty patent. Petty patent is manageable, but you can patent here in Kenya and also protect a repo. You use a repo will be more elaborate. Visit Kipi. They'll advise you, they are just reading newspapers. You people are not engaging them.
No, we'll plan for that visit.
It is an institute of its own, Kenya Intellectual Property Rights
Oh,
Office.
yeah. No, that one.
It is in this. Yeah.
So when you're talking about 800 million people in sub-Saharan Africa, because like that's the population with all those diseases and everything. So I'm thinking that most of the people like they are below like the gross income, like they earn very little money, like the target population. So when you are making the product, like do you consider like that the people within the local market, some of them like they are very poor?
Very poor.
Or
The
it's
cost
not affected?
implication. You're talking of cost implication of the product.
Yeah.
It is still expensive because nobody has subsidized the cost of production. I started telling you that the first ARVs was sold at 50,000. One product, one packet of 30 tablets, so it was sold at 50,000. Then, with the time, it went up to 25,000. Now you are getting it free, which means somebody subsidized the cost of production and even the cost of purchasing. If we get somebody to help us with some fund as a grant, then it can be even free. And now we can't make it free because even to buy even this material, I have to use money, and then the cost of implication of the cost of production is factored in here. And then I look at what is in the market. What is in the market, and this one was done not by me, but Department of Marketing at Kirdi. They helped me to look at the value of my product and vis-a-vis what is in the market. But you are right, the community is poor, and we need some kind of collaborative approach so that we can find somebody to invest, but again, somebody to put grants so that it can reach the poor and the vulnerable. But as at now, I'll charge you 1,500. She'll charge you, not me.
Any other questions?
She had a question, this lady, a burning one, says, yes, I saw you raising your hand sometimes back. Okay. Yes?
Are there any studies concerning herbal drug interaction, just in case someone is using another ARV and they maybe...
Well,
So, yeah.
it is true. There could be drug interaction. Like now, I told you that post-operation, you need not to give the Songoprot because it will fatten the colons. And then it would be, when during post-operation, you see, when you become fat again, the healing process might take long. And another one, that patients presenting with protein allergy need not to take it. And those ones were observed now during clinical trials. So that supports that information. I have a literature attached to this product showing that what you need to do, what you need not to do. Yes. I use, or for ARVs, come on.
Can someone use the other ARVs class?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It is, we tested that at Cambridge because the patients were putting on ARVs during this treatment, clinical trials. There are people who are using ARVs alone. And then there were people using the ARVs and the product, Songoprot. And there were people who were using the Songoprot alone, where that pharmacists emerged. So I don't need to mention names, but it is true, this one is proven they can be used alongside the ARVs to, one thing, to manage lipodystrophy, unequal distribution of fats in the body, as well as a supplementing treatment, so that you gain weight as well, be more, not that weight alone, but to support your immune system.
Thank you, Doc.
Oh, yeah.
Can we appreciate Dr. Odotte? That was really amazing, and I think you've picked those steps he listed on one of the slides. Yeah, in this journey, I believe there is a strong need for collaboration. Yeah, I think that is one thing you can pick. Number two, this research is not a kind of it's not a dream, it's not really a miracle. Is that clear? You have seen the kind of scientific steps they took to prove that is the steps for validation. I believe you have picked a minimum of like need between 5 to 10. Yes?
She talked of mentorship.
Yeah.
Before I go, the mentorship we do. Like now you can take my number. If you arrange, then we can organize, come to the institution and have a few people who are interested. And that is part of the talk. Then we can take you through gradually.
The process, exactly.
process.
Yeah. Can you appreciate even for that agreement? That is why I said you better listen from the horse mouth. So the number of validation techniques, steps, they have not only stopped on validation. That is the kind of research we usually do. But they have gone all the way to clinical trial. Oh, this
This was 2010. An article appeared, and it was found through World Health Journal, 210, and it was saying Kenya to produce an herbal antiretroviral. That was Sunguprot. So this is the only one which was tested, and during that time, as a could, if Trump said no to ARVs, we can still think of this one now.
Exactly. That is wonderful. Thank you. I believe you have also appreciated the effort of the clinical trial. Yes? This is okay, it was a brief time, but you can see also in his PowerPoint in the talk, there was a long clinical trial study that they have done. So without much further ado, thank you very much, Doc.
Yes.
You can come and visit the items. You can also buy, maybe for your family members, some of the antioxidants, some of these nutrition supplements. How many of you are motivated and encouraged in this thing? Can I say one hand? Thank you, at least, and also quite a number of you, We'll have a follow-up session. Number one is the PPB approval. So we'll have a speaker from PPB. A patenting office, what does it look? So we'll have a council, which I'll invite, so that they will tell you what does it take, what is intellectual property. So as a university, we have intellectual property right, or we call it IP policy, intellectual property policy. So I'll invite the university secretary also to take us through what does that policy looks like. In terms, if you need to apply also again for patent, I'll look for that contact. So we'll also see that, and also I'll also invite other people who have got a patent, if any, in this space. But we are so grateful for you being with us. I'm so thankful. Yesterday it was amazing.
Okay,
thank you. Can you appreciate Doc? Also